Saudi Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Wrestling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday usually, but we just had the most stupendous event in all of wrestling history, the year, the decade, the millennia. So let's just talk about it right away. Let's not wait until Wednesday. So WrestleMania 38 just happened, and of course that needs some reactions. And as always, I'm not just reacting to the matches because you have other platforms that have been doing this forever. You're gonna watch, I don't know, like Cultaholic with Adam Pacitti or whoever might do this right now. I hope Ross is doing a WTF again for example, or you're watching Jack the Jobbers, what just happened, or you're watching Simon Miller even. Is he still there? I stopped watching What Culture, but if you're still there, hey Simon Miller, I hope you're doing well. For those who are not watching, I just slapped my head because that's what Simon Miller used to do when I was still watching it. Anyway, so there are enough reaction videos out there. So as always, we're not just looking at what happened, but looking a bit more at the storytelling part and the media production / value of it, right? So we looked at both nights, of course, and gonna take us probably like 20 to 30 minutes max, not longer. All right, so here we go. Night one started off with lots of intro, lots of video packages, and that was a bit too much, to be honest. The first real match then was between the Usos and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Books, and I still cannot get behind the Rick Books gimmick. Seriously, you gotta drop it at some point. Maybe it's cool for the kids, I don't know, but and yeah, lots of people were screaming Books when he said his name is Rick Books, but I can't get behind it. The outfit is ridiculous. You can see he's not playing the guitar, so it's annoying. Shinsuke Nakamura still super, I don't know, wasted talent basically, and of course the Usos win. Of course, a few shenanigans and then double teams and whatever. You've seen it. The Usos win made sense though, right? It made sense that the Usos started strong because, of course, we all know Roman's gonna close out the show, so that it's like that bracket, so to speak. That makes sense to keep them strong. Also, let's be honest, from a storytelling point of view, having them lose to like a patchwork tag team that doesn't make much sense wouldn't have made much sense. So I'm all for it. The Usos now can move on to then face other real tag teams. So congratulations. That made sense. So still SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Where they go right after this, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not following, as you know from this channel, WWE on a weekly basis anymore. Maybe I should. But given that I haven't been following for a while and the Usos are still the Tag Team Champions, so who knows if I should follow it. Second match was Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss, and I don't even want to talk about that because that was just Happy Corbin, a gimmick. Madcap Moss, the gimmick. Who is it for? I can't even imagine that kids going for it. Drew McIntyre. I still can't do it out. This stupid long sword. Seriously. Oh my god. This is so annoying. Nothing makes sense here, and of course Drew McIntyre wins. Where does he go from here? Storytelling wise, I have no clue. Like, I mean, he was throwing his sword at Madcap Moss at the end, so probably it's Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss at some point. It's just annoying, isn't it? So that was really annoying. So first two matches in, terrible so far. I mean, not terrible, but not super exciting. But then, who would have thought that The Miz and Logan Paul are gonna save us? And they went on a total with Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, of course, and Logan Paul did really well. Those splits and jumps and some power moves, not bad. Not bad for a YouTuber. So respect Logan Paul. They won. It was like a smart move by The Miz, so that fits. Then they won, and then in the end, Miz hits a skull-crushing finale on Logan Paul while they were celebrating. Probably because he doesn't want to share the spotlight or whatever, and there's only one A-lister. That was great. That was great match. Great commentary also by Corey Graves, who was hating on Dominic Mysterio the whole time. Like, look, he's leaving Ray to fight for himself and things like this. Awesome. That made complete sense from his point of view. Then it made sense the way they won by being smart, like the Miz just being smart and opportunistic, great. And then the Miz just the skull crushing finale on Logan Paul turns Logan Paul kind of face right away. Great, that makes sense. Of course, we will have the Miz versus Logan Paul then at some point. That makes sense. That was good. I like it. I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do next. Of course, Logan Paul is gonna defeat the Miz at some point now, but the build-up should be fun. Yeah, they're gonna go back and forth. That should be really fun. All right, then we had Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, and was arguably the best match of the night. So congratulations to Bianca Belair. I would have loved to see Becky Lynch win, just to be a bit more surprising. Pardon me, because we all expected Bianca Belair to win at WrestleMania, so she did. Yeah, would have loved to see Becky Lynch win, but overall the storytelling in the match was great. First, Becky Lynch with the urgency, trying to win like quickly, of course. Bianca Belair hanging in there, and Bianca Belair countering, hanging in there, then taking over, and Becky Lynch fighting back, and then almost having her and Bianca Belair with that one counter. That was nice. That was great. That was great storytelling in the match. I would have believed either woman to be a credible winner at this point. I like it. That's not over, right? That can't be over. Now they're like basically 1-1, basically. So there must be another one, right? It must be like a rubber match or something like this. I believe, I assume. But congratulations, Bianca Belair. Then we had the return of Cody Rhodes, and it was better than I thought. I didn't think that Cody Rhodes would be like that big of a deal, because I mean, remember when he left WWE? But apparently, even the WWE universe watches AEW, so they were aware of what he did outside of WWE, and they were like really wild for him. Like, he was the mystery opponent for Seth Rollins. And like his entrance, like coming from down below the stage, then coming up, just like in AEW. So they let him use his complete AEW gimmick. Great, cool, all for it. If he doesn't go on a title run now, though, it's all for nothing, right? And he needs to go on a title run. But is he gonna be then the one to take the titles from Roman Reigns? So I don't think so. So yeah, Cody Rhodes. The match was great. Was not necessarily like my favorite match, but it was good. Hard hitting from the get go. Both kicking out of their respective finishers. While I'm almost dying here. So yeah, that made also sense storytelling wise. Of course, Cody Rhodes had to win his comeback match. What he did. Looking at my notes, yeah. So it was a good match. I'm not the biggest fan of either of those two, but it was very good. It was a very good wrestling match. Very solid. Some great moves in there, nice counters, and storytelling wise, it made sense. Seth Rollins at the end stared at Cody Rhodes, which probably tells us that's not over yet. I think he's gonna retaliate on Monday Night Raw probably while we speak. Then we had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. It was also better than I expected it to be, because I just never give Ronda Rousey that much credit for some reason. I'm sorry for being a hater, but it was a good match. Also lots of back and forth, and then Charlotte Flair having to kind of cheat to get one over on Ronda Rousey. Of course, then keeps the story open. So storytelling wise, Ronda Rousey, of course, gonna come back to SmackDown, retaliate, and get after it, I believe. So congratulations, Charlotte Flair. Nobody likes her, but Ronda Rousey has all the reasons to be mad. She had her tap, but the ref didn't see it. A good storytelling here, so you can use this angle to move forward. Makes sense. That was all good. And then we had Stone Cold Steve Austin closing it out with Kevin Owens. With like lots of hard hitting action there, of course. A no holds barred match. Also way better than it had any right to be. Let's be honest, Stone Cold Steve Austin being like 700 years old. That was great. Kevin Owens bumped his head off for Stone Cold, which was great, of course. So all the props to Kevin Owens for like bumping like a madman there. But Stone Cold Steve Austin did his part, of course, with all the beers in between. That was fun. Did it have to be that long? No. Was it fun? Yes. Did he have to drink like 7,000 beers? No. Was it fun? Yes. Will we get another story out of this? No. Is that a good thing? Yes. So I don't know where Kevin Owens goes from here. He's gonna make up some weird story again that someone distracted him or whatever, and then gonna go in a feud there. But it was nice to see Stone Cold on both nights actually. That was kind of cool. The second night, and I read lots of people saying that the first night was better. I like the second night better. Because I like the first match right away. Tag team again, RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle versus the Street Profits and versus the Alpha Academy. And it was fun. It was a fun, quick, fast-paced triple threat tag team match. Player. And it was awesome. Like lots of action in there. Then 2 RKOs out of nowhere, one from Riddle from the outside, jumping into the ring over the top rope, hitting an RKO in midair on, was it Angelo Dawkins, and then Randy Orton catching Chad Gable midair for the final RKO. That was pretty awesome. So it was a great ending. Then the Street Profits want to like actually toast with the RK Bro, like respect guys here, yeah, cheers, with the red solo cups. Then they say, hey, Gable Steveson is in the audience. Come here, celebrate with us. Gable Steveson hits the ring, ready to cheers, and then Chad Gable throws the cups away and gets into Stevenson's face, Gable's face. So Gable first name versus Gable last name face off, and that's kind of cool because it makes sense because Chad Gable is the wrestling guy right now and with the wrestling credentials in WWE. And now the new guy comes in, and then he's like, hey, man, you're the new guy. And then Gable Steveson just, like, of course, throws him across the ring, which was kind of cool. So nice entry for Gable Steveson. So that was cool. It makes sense. I like the Chad Gable like, face-to-face off with him. I hope we're probably going to see more of this once Steveson hits the roster, probably by Monday Night Raw. That made fun. It was fun. Then we had Bobby Lashley versus Omos. That wasn't that great because it's Omos, but Bobby Lashley just powering through, kind of like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant kind of thing. We had it all the time, but it looked a little bit like it. He suplexed Omos at one point, and then speared him like a few times to get the victory. So that just shows Bobby Lashley's back and is on his way to get the title again. It was fun. Then we had, so he's climbing up the rankings, right? So who's next? Then we had Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. That was fun for like 5 minutes, and then for 10 minutes it went on way too long, in my opinion. I saw lots of people liked it online. For me, it was just way too long, like way too silly, way too long. But then again, I'm not American, so maybe it's just not my style of humor. Who knows? A few nice moves in there though, like Johnny Knoxville taking a few moves and hitting a few moves, so that was respectable. But with this mouse trap thing, and then it didn't even work right away. That was a bit weird. So that was a one-off, of course. Johnny Knoxville probably done now. Sami Zayn needs to find a different conspiracy theory, but I'm sure that will be rather easy. Then we had the fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And we saw Sasha Banks and Naomi defeating Queen Selina and Carmella, and Corey Graves really great commentary with like, babe, wish you all the best and so on. It was nice. Versus Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler. And that was also fun. So this Fatal 4-Way was fun. Lots of action. Then also the final sequence with the kick from Naomi to Carmella, and then with the final finishing move combination between Sasha Banks and Naomi for the win was cool. The selling of Carmella, but also of Corey Graves on commentary was great. And then the emotions for Sasha Banks and Naomi. It's Sasha Banks' first win at WrestleMania. She was 0-6, and now she's 1-6. Congratulations to Sasha Banks. Storytelling-wise, it was great. I mean, in-ring storytelling, it was just fun, fast-paced. Where do we go from here? There will be some, bad blood between the participants, obviously, so I think we just go a bit of a merry-go-round here when it comes to who faces who, I believe. Then we got Edge versus AJ Styles. That was a long match, but it was a very good match, very intense match. It's an Edge match, of course. AJ Styles dug very deep here too. That was great. I liked it a lot. I like the hard hitting, the cerebral edge again, of course. AJ Styles hanging in, and it's hitting all the stops, or pulling out all the stops, I should say. Hit the Styles Clash, Edge kicks out, and he goes for the phenomenal form at the end, and then there is Damian Priest just distracting him, and then Edge spears him mid-air for the victory, which then also shows that Damian Priest and Edge are somewhat collaborating. And I didn't think of Edge as like in a faction right now. But then when I saw them both, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Finally, I can get behind Damian Priest. I wasn't a big fan for a long time. I wasn't a big fan of him and Bad Bunny and all those things, even though they're both great, right? But I wasn't a fan of the combination and of like babyface, whatever kind of weird thing Damian Priest. But now, yeah, go all Edge like heel. Like, that's great. I like it. I'm all for it. So here's storytelling. Awesome. Makes sense. They both have like this weird laugh at the end, smile/laugh, whatever it was. Awesome. I'm all for it. So Edge and Damian Priest are gonna tear it apart for a while. Maybe they have one or two people more people joining. That made sense. AJ Styles. I don't think we see like a longer feud between Edge and AJ Styles now, unless AJ Styles says now I have to find my dark side. But we've never really seen it from AJ Styles, so I don't think so. Then we had Sheamus and Rich Holland with Butch. This is so stupid. Versus the New Day, versus Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Of course, the nice thing here was like the New Day came out in the colors that Big E was wearing when he became champion. It was kind of nice. And also some Big E references when then Woods took down the straps. That was kind of cool too. I appreciate that. In the end, of course, but Butch intervened all the time, and then Rich Holland eventually hit his finisher and didn't hurt anyone. And so they just took home the victory thanks to all the interference of Butch, of course. Yeah, that was really short. The timestamp says 1 minute 40. It was the match that they cut the day before. Yeah, I mean, they all deserved their spot, of course, but yeah. Then, one of my favorite matches of the night. Who would have thought that? Like, not matches, but favorite moments of the night. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. And Pat McAfee's entrance and the pop he got is ridiculous. Oh my god. Pat McAfee, easy, one of the biggest stars that WWE has right now. Who would have thought that? And the way he defeated Austin Theory, like some of the moves, like from the top rope, and then when Austin Theory pushed him off the top rope and he does a backflip, lands on his feet, and then jumps and clears the top turnbuckle with a vertical. What? I was kind of losing him when I saw that, to be honest, and he win like then a suplex from the top rope. Oh my god, Pat McAfee, where were you hiding? It was awesome, and so he defeats Austin Theory. That was great. He was wearing his commentary headset during it for some point. I was just commentating his own fight, which was hilarious. Great. So yeah, that was a fantastic moment. And he's celebrating, and Mr. McMahon, of course, was watching it, got mad, and then Pat McAfee said something to Mr. McMahon, and Mr. McMahon comes in the ring, and then of course they make a match, and Mr. McMahon, of course, he wins via interference by Austin Theory, obviously, and then out comes Stone Cold and kind of like cheers this sort of thing, like salutes with Mr. McMahon and the beer, and then he of course stuns a weird selling by Vince, but whatever, he's 1,000 years old, so good on him. So then he stuns Vince McMahon, and then he celebrates with Pat McAfee, and then he stuns Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee sells it very well too. Austin Theory got a stunner before as well. Austin Theory sold it. I thought, like The Rock back then, like just flipping all over. What Pat McAfee also is similar, but Theory even more. But then someone on Twitter pointed out it's more, maybe it was also more like Shawn Michaels selling for Hulk Hogan. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. I try to look on the positive side of things. So I'm not like, let me know which side you're on. I thought he sold like The Rock, not like Shawn Michaels, but I could see it the other way around too. But it was still pretty cool, I believe. Yeah, and so there was an overall great, fun story that doesn't take us anywhere besides, of course, Austin Theory and Pat McAfee continue to beef probably. Austin Theory will get one over on Pat McAfee because Austin Theory is the full-time wrestler and Mr. McMahon's protege. So at some point he's going to win, of course, and starts winning a lot probably. But for now, that was great. And then, yeah, I think he's going to keep harassing Pat McAfee. And then eventually just wins and moves on to bigger and greener pastures, I believe. And then we had the final main event between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and of course Roman Reigns won, And to be honest, like the match itself didn't really captivate me as much. But I mean, it was still like two behemoths going at each other. Roman Reigns had to cheat with like a low blow and a belt and whatnot to actually win, which of course sets up the continued story that Brock Lesnar can come back at any time and just say, hey man, you were cheating, what the hell? And I would assume that Brock's going to take a few weeks, months off now, what he always does, as he always does, and then Roman Reigns just going to keep running his mouth as the head of the table. Let's see who comes out then during Raw, probably. Cody Rhodes challenging him right away. I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to take the belts from Roman Reigns, though. That's going to be interesting. Cody Rhodes said like there's only one thing left for like this family and wrestling, the Rhodes family, and that's why he's back at WWE. So he wants the titles, but I can't see him getting it from Roman Reigns, to be honest. Anyway, so those are the stories that are coming out of WrestleMania. Let me know what you think. How did you like it? What stories are you looking forward to the most? So for me, my highlight, like entertainment-wise, was Pat McAfee. Match-wise, Edge, Sasha Banks, it's nice to see her one. I like the RK Bro match a lot. I'm on from night one. The Miz and Logan Paul were great, and of course the women's match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch was also fantastic. So lots of good matches there. Storytelling-wise, it's all like rather straightforward though. It's no big turns and twists just yet. No big heel turns, surprising heel turns. Besides the Miz on Logan Paul, other than that, all rather clear cut. I think we're gonna see more the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania as always. So let's see what happens then, and then maybe we're back here with like more stories that we analyze. That's it for now. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this thing, rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are. That helps to find a better, bigger audience. Not that I'm not happy already, but it's just nice to have like more people to discuss things with. Sorry, my excitement. As always, thanks for being here. Don't forget, always kick it out too. Take care, stay safe. I'll see and talk to you soon. Sawadee Krap.